So Daddy Kyler, the love of my life, gave me flowers today, guys, and I'm gonna put them in a vase. Y'all been asking me for a story time on how Kyler and I met. We're two daddies, we have 5 kids, we're a family of 7, so y'all always ask, how did you and Kyler meet, and how did you become daddies? And so today I'm gonna tell you the story of how Kyler and I met. So let's get started. 13 years ago on Grindr. Grindr is a Christian dating app, if you didn't know. And it was love at first tap. I'm gonna fill this up with water. Now I'm gonna give you the short version versus the telenovela version. So basically, Kyler had just got out of a relationship. I was single, ready to mingle. I was talking to a bunch of bitches, honestly, just to be transparent. And so he was on a rebound. We messaged each other, and we were talking about how I was, going to the gym, and he was going to the gym. We're like, we should go to the gym together. We live pretty close. And so we would go to Planet Fitness together. And so, like true homosexuals, we basically ended up going to work out. And then after that, we had another workout. And so basically, Kyler and I talked for about 3 months. And during those 3 months, we hung out. And at the end of those 3 months, basically he went back to his ex, okay? He went from having liver and onions to having filet mignon to back to liver and onions. And so me and him really parted ways for about 3 years. During that time, I had his mom on Facebook because I'm not a hater, and all my suegras love me, past, present, they all love me. And so fast forward 3 years later, I have toy poodles. If you didn't know, Matthew had a wife, and then I used to have baby toy poodles, and I would sell them. I get a DM from his mom, and she wanted a toy poodle. And I said, sure. But you know what? I'm like, well, technically, I'm gonna give her a discount, right? And so I ended up giving her a discount. Okay. Oh, I think I overstuffed this. I always do anyways. Lo and behold, the day comes, and who should knock on my door? I opened the door, and I thought it was gonna be Kyler's mom. And there's Kyler. And I was like, look what the wind dragged in. And so it was Daddy Kyler, or Kyler at the time. And we started talking. I gave him the dog, and then he came back. We went to a movie, and then we went back to my place, and we had a roll in the hay. And then basically, we were like lesbians. He never left. We started hanging out all the time. And he had been single for a couple of years. I had been single, and we started hanging out. And the next thing you know, more clothes, and more of his clothes was in the closet. I was like, do you want a drawer? He started spending the night. We started spending time together. And the rest is history. We've been together ever since. And so it's about to be 10 years since that 3-month hiatus that he decided he wanted to go back to liver and onions. And so, we were together. We met in Phoenix, right, on Grindr. And then eventually Kyler's like, we should move. Let's move. And I was like, let's go to Texas to be closer to my family, and then we'll move to the East Coast. And so, we moved to Lubbock, Texas. And we had always talked about having children, but that was like in the in the distant future. And I told Kyler, I said, I've always wanted to foster. I think that we should do that. And he was like, all right, let's foster. And one day we brought up the computer and we got our fostering license. And then that's how it kind of started, right? And now to look back and see how much time has passed. We're about to have a Valentine's Day weekend getaway. We usually do Valentine's with the kids and do a big party. But this year, since we have a babysitter, since we're with my mom, she's gonna watch the kids. My sister's gonna have a Valentine's Day party, and Kyler is taking me on a secret rendezvous. I don't know where we're going. He just told me, chonis nunca me pongo. So he said, just bring 3 outfits, a swim outfit, and we're gonna have some fun. I was like, all right, don't forget that. So I'm very excited, guys, to go on a little weekend getaway with Kyler. And, as parents of 5 children, we really do need that because our day-to-day, our whole lives are our children, right? But as parents, sometimes you have to pour into yourself, keep the love going, keep the flame going. And so it's important to try to get a little getaway, even if sometimes your date nights are when the kids are asleep watching a movie, or your date day is going to the grocery store with no kids. Whatever you need to do to keep that passion going is very, very important. And so, so that's kind of like the fast version. If I give you the telenovela story, some of y'all have heard it on my lives. Y'all would think it was wild if I told y'all. But look how beautiful this looks. I didn't have a vase, so I put it in this little jarrita from Mexico, and it looks beautiful. I will tell you this. He left for 3 months, but he came back. There's a Mexican saying, soy como el Alka-Seltzer. El que me prueba, repite. Or it's like, once you get a taste of the good life, you always want to go back to it, right? He was like, ooh, battling, and then 3 months, 3 years passed by. No, it wasn't 3 months. 3 months we talked. 3 years passed by, and he's like, oh, I need that Mexican chorizo. But anyways, that's the quick version of how Daddy Kyler and I met. Next time I'll do a story time, guys, of how we became parents a little bit more in detail, and how we fostered 21 children, and how we adopted 5 children, and yeah, but I'll tell you on the next one. I'll see you soon. Adios.